February 14th, 2018 is a date that forever changed South Florida. I still remember where I was when I heard about the shooting taking place just a few miles down the road at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. I made sure my classroom was locked and my school was put in modified lockdown position. When I finally got home that evening, I hugged my children very tightly and thought about how some of my neighbors will never have that opportunity to hug their children again. Mass shootings, suicides, and extensive violence are something that we hear about frequently in the news and we witness firsthand in our schools. A conversation developed across the country about how we are going to keep our children safe. One answer to that question was implementing social and emotional learning, or SEL curriculum. This became the standard or norm in many schools around the nation. When looking at the SEL wave that has swept through our schools, it has become clear that we are not ready to standardize or benchmark requirements. After researching the topic extensively, it is clear to me that implementing SEL into our curriculum is necessary and acceptable by many educators. It is becoming the norm. However, when looking at the data collected on the topic, the results are not so clear-cut. Some studies show this correlation, while other studies show the opposite. Nancy Bailey sees this as a concern when examining the data. She states that SEL covers a large array of topics that are not well understood. Because of that, the research is not consistently pointing to overall success. The Center for Confidence and Well-Being stresses that now is the time to look at the data and see which SEL approaches are actually beneficial and which are wasting our time and resources. It is critical to make sure that the methods used in SEL are promoting well-being and not hindering student growth. The National Conference for State Legislatures claims that reliable and accurate measures of SEL are still in the developmental stages. Benchmarks assume that once a student masters a specific skill or group of skills, well-being or success in life will follow. Actually, well-being can be a result of multiple avenues. Wellness can be reached in more than one direction. For example, many see calmness as an emotion that shows strength in self-regulation. Calmness is not always the best way to reach every goal. We cannot assume that there is a one-size-fits-all SEL solution to every situation. It would not be fair for us to judge what is right and wrong when looking at development and student success. Some teachers, administrators, and policymakers disagree with this stand. They believe that it is necessary to standardize and benchmark SEL. Due to federal law, every state has some type of SEL policy in place. These standards are put in place to promote SEL uniformity and accountability among schools. In conclusion, SEL is here to stay. It needs to be implemented in our classrooms. There is a consensus among educators, administrators, and policymakers that SEL enhances student achievement in all academic areas, and it helps students become well-adjusted adults. An issue arises when policymakers begin benchmarking at the SEL achievements. Although accountability and uniformity are important, we have not reached the point of being able to benchmark these skills. Let's continue collecting data and figuring out what works. We need to make our schools safe and productive places for our children.